It's a great pleasure to be in Loyola Institute of Business Administration. In fact, I vividly remember the days when I always step into the Loyola College or the Loyola Education Institution. I remember post my 12th standard, the first thing I did after my exams was to come directly from Tambram to Nungambakam and apply for my BCom in Loyola. And looking forward to see my name in the first list. That was the first ambition any student, commerce student will have. And later I decided to take up my chartered accountancy directly, considering the amount of time I have to spend and considering that I'm an average student. So balancing college and chartered accountancy would be difficult, and then I took up a choice. Even though I got selected in Loyola, I took up my chartered accountancy and I sailed through this phase of chartered accountancy. It's a great pleasure to address you all today. Thank you, Mr. Jayaraman, the Business Standard, head of the Southern India, to give this opportunity along with Loyola Institute of Business Administration. I would say you are a fortunate set of people to study in this one of the prestigious institution, where one of the greatest management guru of our times, C.K. Prahalad, who graduated from here, went on to rock on in the world. The theory, what he proposed, was the bottom of the pyramid. The most important thing today in India that you people should understand when you actually rise up to the leadership, and subsequently in the leadership, ethics is a byproduct. As you rise up, one thing that you need to understand is the fundamentals of ethics gets framed in the institution where you study. Today I am proud to say India is a country with about 70% of youth population. This youth population is a transformational force not only for India, but for the entire world. We have a unique, we are going to reap the unique demographic dividend compared to the rest of the world. The time for India has actually come now. In fact, when my friends, when I qualified and I was working in KPMG, for about 10 years I spent since my articleship in KPMG, and last year I became an entrepreneur. In the span of 10 years, in everybody who actually enters KPMG and qualifies as chartered accountant, the first thing my friends or the peers or the colleagues were looking at was to go out of the country. But I took a unique path where my friends said, Satya, you have a great opportunity because you are a chartered accountant, cost accountant, company secretary and a lawyer. If you end up in California, probably you will earn more and you can make a great career in US. But I invested my time in this nation. To understand this nation, I used to go around the country on Saturday, Sunday. I used to take up either a Friday night train or morning flight to any part of the India wherever they need a lecture. And I understood that India is an opportunity. And today I am proud to say in the entrepreneurship journey, I am reaping benefit because I invested my time in India. The 5 years time what I invested, length and breadth of the country, I understood India has a huge potential. We have opportunity to create about not less than 50 places which are equal to Silicon Valley. In fact, when I surveyed about Silicon Valley, when I actually interacted in Silicon Valley, what I understood is out of 100 startups which come in Silicon Valley, 15 startups actually emerge from the Indians. Why can't these startups in the technology era emerge from India? This fundamental thing that the youth here who are getting graduated in the management should understand. I was going through the literatures of Swami Vivekananda, and he was a youth icon, and he has on every subject, he has a quote to say. When I looked at it, he said, when I looked at what his leadership is all about, he said, all the power is within you. You can do anything and everything. Believe in that. Don't believe that you are weak. Stand up and express the divinity within you. And from here, I take the cue of the ethics. What is ethics? Ethics is all about you should not injure others and love everyone as your own self. Universe is one. And this is derived from your own religions. It is derived from your own philosophies and culture and the education institution. So this bedrock is very fundamental thing for doing business in any part of the world. Now coming back to the Indian situation, and the topic is about leadership and ethics for new India. What is this new India all about? Today there is a great debates going on around New India, and Honorable Prime Minister has spoken about New India. Every state government and chief minister is talking about New India. When the Indian representatives, when the Honorable Prime Minister addressed in World Economic Forum, he said we are going to emerge as a new India, and new India will also provide impetus to new world. In the time where new India is created, we will also create new world. This was one of the themes in World Economic Forum where we were discussing about the protectionism in fact. 20 years before we spoke about globalization. Today we talk about protectionism and about countries' development. What is this theory of New India all about? Is this a theory or is it going to become a reality? That all those answers lies within you. Today, India has a great opportunity because of some of the greatest reforms carried out by the previous government as well as the present government and even by the state governments. If you look at the important asset today, what we have in India is the digital infrastructure. And many people ask about, whenever they wanted to, they come to me to get mentored, they ask about how do I become an entrepreneur? I tell them, look at Digital India. Today in India, about 2 lakh kilometers high-speed optical fibers have been laid. This is a unique opportunity which is going to provide high-speed internet to the country. Apart from that, the post offices, which were supposed to close down, was actually revived by the government. And today we have about 1,36,780 post offices in almost 6,60,000 villages, excluding the cities. And this is a great infrastructure for the e-commerce business in the future. This is a great infrastructure for the e-commerce business in the future because by 2019, we are expecting that 65% of e-commerce offtake is going to come from rural area. In fact, my good friend from the ITC, he was making a point, the leader from the ITC was making a point. How did they market the unmarketed product? All that is required today is about marketing the unmarketed product. All that is required today is to give the access of market to the poorest of the poor, who are agriculturists today, to our artisans. There is a huge potential lying in the rural areas of India. If you are able to, as a management graduate, you are able to leverage the digital infrastructure in the country and also leverage on the product capabilities of the rural places, your product is global. All that you need to do as an educated is to package yourself by leveraging both. Are you ready for this? Because, take for example Fab India. Today you go to Fab India, all the products what they sell, I'm sure they must be having 200-300% profit. Any business, in fact, Mr. C.K. Ranganathan, the Kevin Care chairman who came in the morning, you would have heard him speaking. Any business should have 75% margin. Any business should have 75% margin to do. And he has disclosed that in one of his writings in Vigadan called Business Secrets. You should read that book in Tamil actually. And he has disclosed in that any business where there is a 75% margin, only in that business you will be able to comfortably scale up. And Chick Shampoo was his right example which is scaled up. And there are a lot of opportunity today in the grassroots level. All that you should think about is, do not think too high. Think always basic stuffs and look at grassroots people whom you can leverage on. And coming back to the next infrastructure which is going to be a great game changer for you is your Jandan, Aadhaar and mobile. Today, as a citizen of this country, I'm proud to say that about 30 crore people have Jandan accounts. About 30 crore people have Jandan accounts. It's the greatest financial inclusion project where, when I say 30 crore people have Jandan account, it is almost 2 people in the home. Let's assume a family contains 3 people. It is about 90 crore people who are connected in the banked economy today. 90 crore people are connected in the bank today. And second important infrastructure is your Aadhaar. In about 130 crore population, about 115 crore population are today connected in Aadhaar card. Yes, there is a debate whether Aadhaar is going to be private or not. All that you need to remember, when you signed up for Gmail, when you signed up for Google, when you actually installed WhatsApp, you never considered privacy. You never read the terms and condition. But this Aadhaar is debated because of the political reason. Leave the political reason. But today, Aadhaar card is a identity and dignity of the individual. I can tell you, today somebody can be born without identity. But in this country, because of Aadhaar, nobody can die without an identity. It has provided a dignity, and this is going to be a great game changer and second game changer for the Indian economy. The three is your mobile connection. When I spoke about Digital India, that thing that will be running in your mind was how many people are connected in the mobile. In 2019, it is expected that 500 million people, that is about 50 crore people, will be connected in the internet. And they're going to have high-speed internet. Having internet is not a problem, but we need to have high-speed internet. From 2019, you will find that about 500 million people are going to be connected in the internet. And this jam, along with Digital India, is the greatest game changer. Now, where is it Indian economy heading to? As a management leaders or management graduates, how can you actually travel through the path of the new India? This is the new infrastructure of the new India. And next important thing is that today youth actually wanted to do something different. Gone are the days where people join the job and remain in the same seat for 35 years or 40 years. Today youths are not ready. In fact, I went to one of the prominent public sector undertaking. If you go and visit this public sector undertaking, top public sector undertaking, you will find that the particular person would have joined as a trainee and then later emerged to be the board, later emerged to be one of the finance director, and later he would have become a CFO, then later he would emerge in the board of director, and later when he retires also he will become the board of advisor. So you would have been in this company. You today go and survey how many of the youths are ready to work in the same company, emulate the same culture. Today people are not working for money. People are working to learn culture and learn different things every day. Today youths are not ready to actually do the same job. Rather, the technology will not allow you to do the same job every day because of your robotics and artificial intelligence. The measurement that you need to do is while you join the job or when you take up entrepreneurship, whether that will sustain or not, you should check whether robots and artificial intelligence can do it. If you check and decide and conclude that the technology, the robots and artificial intelligence can take up the job, that means your job is not sustainable. The time will come where you will be sacked. So you need to understand that technology is going to play a major role. In 2008, while I was addressing in one of the Indian Institute of Management as a student representative in one of the conferences, I said in 2019 or 2020, India will actually reach the mark of about $4 trillion economy. And India is going through the phase, at that point of time, it is hardly about $450 billion economy. And today India is moving towards $5 trillion economy. I'm sure in 2030, India will become $10 trillion economy. How is it going to become a $10 trillion economy? It's as simple as this. If you look at the industrial revolutions, past industrial revolutions, the first industrial revolution was actually driven, always energy and power will play a major role. Energy will play a major role in any of the industrial revolution. The first industrial revolution was actually calibrated by the coal. And that's when your European nations actually capitalized on that. The second industrial revolution moved from Europe to US, and it is primarily because of oil. And third industrial revolution also was capitalized by the US partnering with China. And the third industrial revolution was with the softwares and technology, and now the fourth industrial revolution is going to be based on artificial intelligence and cognitive solution. And India will play as a major player in this artificial intelligence and robotics, because the minds which created the software are the same minds which are going to drive this artificial intelligence and robotics. So there is an opportunity, and by 2047, these are all the forecasts which I am giving based on the international reports. By 2047, when India is going to celebrate 100th year of independence, China is going to celebrate the 135th year of Republic of China. And you will see India will overtake China and US squarely because of the youth population who are going to be the torch bearers of the nation's vision. And it's going to be possible because of the entrepreneurial ability that each and every individual or the educated is going to carry through. When I talk about the education and how the education will make you as a leader, and subsequently how that ethics which is forming part of you as a culture which you emulate is going to shape this nation, that one important thing that you need to understand, Whatever the education you undergo, just because you study MBA, it's not going to make you an entrepreneur or going to make you a successful. The first stage of any education is to complete your formal education. Then you will realize, take it from me, many of them would be an engineer, subsequently would have getting graduated as MBA, then you will realize that your attitude and skills plays a major role. While you go to the corporate, I still remember when I qualified as chartered accountant, that day was, I was celebrating. The next day when I walked into my office, the way they looked at me, because I joined as an article, I got trained as an article. Subsequently, after my training period, when I wrote my exams and cleared, my partner called and said, you no more, you are a playful trainee. You are now empowered with your qualification. You hold the license called chartered accountant. You hold the license called chartered accountant, and you need to exercise your skills and attitude. I did not understand what is he trying to say. When I went and researched, I found that he's trying to tell me that I have to lead teams. I have to take up the responsibility and empowering the people under me. Until that point of time, it was about empowering myself. The organization will look at you when you actually emerge as a management graduate, and while you enter the office space, the management or the organization will look at you as a leader. You cannot go and get trained in the organization. You need to equip yourself and go there with a larger vision of creating a change. All the organizations today are looking at the leaders who are going to bring change in the organization in the disruptive world. Today, while you choose your employment, if you are aspiring to go to the BPO jobs, take it from me, these BPO jobs will not be there going forward. I have been involved in KPMG while I was in the consulting space on a new division called Robotic and Cognitive Solution, where we automate the process. As simple as that. If you want to understand what is this all about, you all know about macros. Macros, once it's programmed, it will do the cut, copy, paste and everything automatically. And now this is getting advanced with advanced technology. And you need to think while you take up the job, are you in the space of creative thinking or critical thinking? If you are not thinking every day in your job, that means your employment will not sustain. Every day you need to think through new strategy, implement new strategy and empowering people. And this is the ideal leadership quality that the corporate is today expecting. And now when you become an entrepreneur, and he was rightly saying, the previous leader who spoke from ITC, he actually said that his son is doing the job of everything. Today, I am the office boy of my office. Today, I am the MD of my office. Today, I book my own travel tickets. I don't have a travel desk when I start up. So you need to multitask. And while you multitask, you'll get cold sweats because you will have the habit of comparing with your friends. Remember, when Narayana Murthy started Infosys, when Arunachalam Muruganandam was experimenting on the sanitary pads for rural India, everybody thought they are all different breed, they are not going to be successful. And the massive success came not because of their branches, but because of their roots of culture. Because of the roots of culture which they developed while they were undergoing the entrepreneurship journey. Entrepreneurship journey is not about winning awards, business leadership award, or getting awarded. Entrepreneurship journey is a real learning that you need to understand, where you will think through, cut through lot of leadership qualities, and you will imbibe the best of the ethics. Because when you are moving from employee, or when you are starting up as an entrepreneur, or when you move from employee to entrepreneur, one thing that where the mindset change will come is from the competitive spirit, you will move to the collaborative spirit. While you move from employee to entrepreneur, that quality which you will imbibe is you will move to the level of collaboration and not competition. It will happen. Anybody who takes up entrepreneur, for example, I was an employee for 10 years, and every year when the performance appraisal used to come, I used to kind of become very competitive to understand who is getting promoted. Today, I am an entrepreneur. My colleagues who are working under me, or rather who are been with me, today are emerging to be the partners in that respective organization. But I don't compare myself because my mind has changed from competitiveness to collaboration. Whenever somebody raises, I look at how do I collaborate. Whenever somebody is actually not doing well, I look at how do I go and embrace them so that it becomes an opportunity for me. And this is what is required as an entrepreneur. And this is what is required in India, because India had got bad deal in the past 60 years. Because if you look at 26% of the people in the country are below the poverty line. You read the definition of the poverty line in economics. I don't remember the definition, but one thing I can tell you, whenever I interacted, whenever I wanted to understand BPL, that is below the poverty line, all that I understand is that particular person is called a person below the poverty line when he does not get 1 square meal per day. That's all I know when I interacted with the people. And India has 26% of the population below the poverty line. And when I traveled around India, I was looking at what kind of an entrepreneurship activity I should take. When I was researching, when I was interacting, all that I did was I parked my qualification at my home. I never went to the spectacle of my qualification. If I go with the spectacle of my qualification called chartered accountancy, all that I will look at is tax planning. All that I will look at is the registration of the company. All that I will look at is there a client available? So I parked my qualification at my home. I went around the country as a normal citizen, and then I wanted to explore this nation. When I explored, I found that it is statistics published also, 60% of India does not have sanitation facility. Basic toilet facility is not available for the 60% of the population. And I also found that 40% of the population does not have clean water to drink. 40 liters of clean water to drink. 40% of the population does not have 40 liters of clean water to drink. Leave the other activities which they have to do with the water. And the fifth important thing which I found, I went into 2 important places in India which today requires development. And those important 2 places are, one is the magistrate courts and the civil courts, lower civil courts, and I also went to the government schools. Then I found the justice delivery system today is very bad in India. The justice delivery system is very bad. The victim has to wait to get, at least he should wait minimum 1 year to 2 years to get on serious offense also the judgment. And you know about how it happens in India. And second important thing, the government schools. You go and visit a government school. Somebody was asking me in one of the meeting in IIMs. They asked me, sir, why is girl child education very bad in India? I said, in the government school, there's no toilets. That's all is the solution. You build toilets, automatically government school kids will come to the college. The girl child education will go up. This is a fact. Because if you go and look at all the places in the government schools, majority of the schools you will find that you will not find even a single toilet with a proper door. That is required for building great educational institutions. And the one more place that you need to visit, what kind of entrepreneurship you should do is General Hospital in India. I went and saw somebody got surgery and the dog is just sitting near him, and that's a road dog.